Okay, now for the fan commentary of Disney versus non-Disney villains Part 2, Round 12, Part 2. That's a lot of parts, again. Okay, so start off with the prologue, we got, this scene. Megatron...
Decepticons, Megatron, your leader, speaks.
Yawn!
I will lead you all.
What? Okay, even though I was never big on Transformers as a kid, and I get from this version of Transformers that we all know that Starscream is basically, he is his second in command, but then again, he's been trying to backstab Megatron to be the full-fledged leader of the Decepticons. Like, he's basically the stabby in the back kind of guy, but I just never thought him just, yawn, or just, oh, I hate you so much, I'm just gonna give you some bunny ears. And Megatron being all, big, intimidating villain, he's like, what? And by that what, it's like this expression of Pete, like, what?
Lead you all to a new...
And shaking his torch right in front of him while he's not looking.
An order that starts with a Decepticon-controlled Cybertron. And woe betide any who would seek to undermine my authority.
Yeah, not knowing what's going on. Even I can't imagine Starscream being all like, I'm just... Reach right in the booty! Well, that's cartoony.
Much better.
What kind of show is Transformers animated anyway? Oh, well, okay, so, we see that Jafar is paying a secret visit to Azula. Hold on.
I'm exceedingly sorry, Princess.
Now, that's good editing. Just make it, have Jafar said he's sorry, Princess, when he did that to Jasmine. And just saying that to Azula kind of makes sense, because she is the princess, and Jafar would apologize for, interrupting while she's asleep. And interesting, even though I did say that Ozai favors Azula more than Zuko, I'm still surprised we don't have him, being all like, oh, Azula, once I'm the king of the world, you will be, be the new Fire Lord, of course, and that she feels an honor. I'm surprised we don't have that in here. But instead, just to betray Ozai behind his back, just to take over the Fire Nation. Which is an interesting change. And they're at the lair of the lizard men that, well, since Ruber's dead, you guys already know that they all join Ozai afterwards. Well, since Ozai recruits them. Azula wants to challenge the lizard man, and if she wins, she'll lead all of Ruber's former alliances. Hold on. He's enjoying the wrestling. The violent one. It makes sense for it to be only in the prologue instead of the actual fight. Since it just wouldn't make sense for have non-Disney villains fighting each other, because this is supposed to be Disney villains fighting non-Disney villains, not the other way around. Looks like Zula took down that lizard man, and she's now their leader. And yet I know that whole mixed-up thing until like the Doomsday and the Endgame stuff, but yeah, I don't get why Manwu kind of cheated. So the first fight is Hun versus Abraham Cain. What I watched from CK's commentaries like many years ago, he said that Manwu did make an announcement that he is now going to use a new Disney TV villain, not the one of the classic ones, nor the Phineas and Ferb one, but a modern one. Everyone did thought it was going to be Gravity Falls. A lot of people just assumed it was going to be Gravity Falls, and I didn't get the announcement. It probably was on Facebook or Twitter or something like that. I don't know, but okay. So
Silence, Hun. I have not come to hear you plead. You have failed me one time too many, and yet you have also been loyal beyond reproach. I have decided to give you one last chance to redeem yourself. Master, I will not fail.
yeah, you get where this is going. So he sends Hun to get a microchip for his dimensional plans, just so Han can impress his senpai. It's a joke. But when we show it, it's not Gravity Falls. It's this scene from Motor City. And I thought it was kind of interesting, though. It was only had one season, I think. I think it only had one season, but it was canceled too soon. And if you guys don't know Motor City, it's basically a futuristic, dystopian era where it's basically what happens in the future. We have a dystopian era. There's the bottom one is the old Detroit, and the new one is the new Detroit, called Detroit Deluxe, run by Abraham Cain. And he's basically like the dystopian dictator, or like an ambassador of some sort. And one of the main characters is Mike. He was one of his employees. He was very loyal to him until he realized that he's a very corrupted man. He was going to turn down one of the old abandoned buildings, which actually turns out there's people in there, but Cain just does not give a crap. He wants it took down. And Mike decided to disobey him, left that order, and decided his own rebel alliance called the Burners. And it's like if you take the Fast and the Furious in a dystopian storyline. That's basically what Motor City is. And most of the characters are either college students or teenagers, which one of them was also was a partner of Cain, but he's just one of the Burners now. So we see Hun has arrived there, and he meets up with, that's Abraham Cain. Also, he's voiced by Mark Hamill, which is actually pretty cool. He is a very threatening villain, I'm not gonna lie here. Yeah, I know this is one of the only thing I watch on Disney XD. Disney XD it's basically the channel, back before there was Disney XD, there was Toon Disney. At day, it's Toon Disney, and at night, it's Jetix. But there was a merger. They had Toon Disney and Jetix merged into one channel, which is now called Disney XD, and Motor City being one of the shows, the earlier ones. And I think that's pretty good, and a lot of people thought it was going to be Gravity Falls, but nope, it's Motor City. I think some people might be disappointed, which, I'm not gonna lie, I am kind of sad it wasn't Gravity Falls, but I am glad that Motor City is in there. And it's still been for forever since I've seen the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. One thing, I do love the designs of Motor City. It's really cool. If you guys have never seen it, I'll probably leave the link down below to the review of that. Also, one thing I forgot, Abraham Cain's daughter is named Julie. She's one of the members of the Burners, which he does not know that. Oh, it looks like Han caused some damage on Cain's machine. So Han wins. Next fight is Duff Killigan versus Combustion Man. So Monkey Fist is mocking Duff Killigan for, being a failure to... How did that go again? Of his failure to be of use thus far, causing tempers to flare, okay. But then this caused Duff Killigan to show himself, worthy more, just to fight against Combustion Man, the Fire Nation's assassin. One thing is that we know him as Combustion Man. We don't actually know his real name. So, when we first saw him, he was only known as the Fire Nation Assassin. He's basically an assassin. That's what he is. So, even though we never see his real name, he's very silent and secrety. And Saga did just kind of try to come up with names, like Sparky Boom Man, or whatever name. But the name comes up, it is Combustion Man. I guess everyone just prefers to call him that, I guess. I can understand why. Even though we'll never know his real name. Oh, sorry for the wrong talk. I just want to talk about this guy. I guess it's a tie or something. And next fight is Evil Manta versus Merman. So Odin, that Odin right here, arrives at Evil Manta's lair, and he tells him another location of the crystal. You know, the Crystal of Darkness, which is at Merman's hand. Gives him a replica of the Tritons and gives it to Evil Manta. Which is actually a very good replica that Odin made. That's pretty solid. I think what he said, in return... okay, never mind. I thought it's, just so he can rule Atlantica, which is probably what he might do. Goes there just to get that crystal. Hold on. Yeah, it's one of that pieces of the Crystal of Darkness. Hold on.
All shall bow before me.
You're in my neighborhood now.
Basically, the battle between who will be the ruler of Atlantica, Merman or Evil Manta. Well, even though Merman is ruling Atlantica, of course. Well, looks like Odin just decided to help him out. Helping Evil Manta, that is. Looks like Evil Manta wins along with Odin. The next fight is Van Pelt and Professor Ibsen versus Dr. Nimule and Dr. Doofenshmirtz. So Xanatos gets a visit from Van Pelt while he's still traveling around the Hadron realm. I thought he would still be in Africa. Wait, how did it... Oh yeah, that fight is made by Beaten Senseless 902. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And then then Van Pelt introduces his associate.
Professor Ibsen, Master Builder.
Ah. And then we see Skeleton King has decided to send Dr. Nimule along with a new recruit, Dr. Doofenshmirtz, who wants to get revenge on David Xanatos for making a fool out of him when he's facing off against Destro. Guess he just felt he's been made a fool. Interesting, Doofenshmirtz had to switch alliance. I still have not seen the Jumanji cartoon. I probably need to get that. I hope there's a DVD collections of that. And I should probably get the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers cartoon series. I don't know if I'll be able to watch the movie or not. I don't know. I kind of have a mixed feeling about that one. Since, the movie Sweet Pete, which is older Peter Pan, his backstory is basically kind of similar to Bobby Driscoll. And it's a very tragedy, and I just hope, even I would agree with that, I just hope that it was just a coincidence. And it wasn't just meant for, actually doing it. Sorry if that was off topic. Maybe I should leave the link down below to talk about the history of Bobby Driscoll. The giant hippos. And he falls down and... Okay. Huh? Actual dogs. And bang! That was graphic. Professor Ibsen and Van Pelt went. I mean, even though we saw Doofenshmirtz falling down, we would have thought he'd be survived. But now that it's cut off, we don't see Doofenshmirtz again. He's probably dead. Jeez. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop right here. So see you guys in the next video. Next part of the commentary, that is.